Hi, I'm Stephanie with Staff Base Academy. Perhaps you've heard this before. The volume of comms is too high, or there's too much information that's not relevant to me, or I didn't know. Research shows that too much noise and irrelevant information are key barriers to successful communication. We want to show you one of the key ways to solve this problem, better understanding and segmenting your internal audience. In this video, you will learn about the difference between understanding and segmenting your internal audience, how to create personas, and how they'll help you learn more about your audience. And we'll share with you best practices and give you 3 concrete segmentation examples. The understanding and segmenting of your internal audience are often used as interchangeable terms, but they mean different things. We've created an easy model to help you think about your internal audience.
The first step is to better understand your internal audience. This will not only help you to be seen as a trusted advisor and audience expert in your company, it also helps to create better and more tailored content and messages for your audience. And finally, it's the input to segment your audience. A good segmentation helps to automatically target relevant content to the right audience, and also offers the option to your employees to choose topics they care about based on their interests.
Everything we are going to talk about fits into this model. Let's first have a look at what you should know to better understand your audience. You could look at your audience from many different angles. Make sure to focus on characteristics that are actionable and easy to find out. Here are 5 basic areas you should look at.
1. Organization. How is the organization broken up into the departments and locations, and what are their relative sizes? 2. Demographics. Gender, age, languages, ethnic groups, and average length of service. 3. Work patterns. Are people working shifts? Are they frontline, field, or factory workers? 4. Channels. Which communication channels are there, and how are they used? 5. Engagement. Are there patterns to employee motivation and engagement?
You don't have to research these facts every week, but keep tabs on them, like, for example, during a yearly communications audit. Now, all this data and information might seem like a lot to deal with. Luckily, there is a proven way to simplify your audience research and share those key patterns with others. And that is where personas come in.
Personas are fictional characters. Ideally, they represent your most important user types and describe the most common pain points, motivations, needs, or typical uses of technology. Personas are based on your audience research. They should be realistic, and they should also challenge you to come up with better solutions. Don't create too many. Try to find between 3 and 8 personas. This should be a handy method to think and talk about your audience, not a huge task.
This persona model and your audience understanding make you the go-to expert and trusted advisor on everything about your internal audience. Senior leaders need someone on hand to tell them how their people are thinking and feeling and how best to connect with employees. For example, this insight might change the attitude of a program leader who initially thought that one single message would convince everyone.
You can also use your audience understanding to tailor your content with different angles for different personas. For example, if your company is planning to acquire another company, a message about reduced business risk may be attractive for those in your audience with stability as a key value. Other employees may see career development as a much more important value, and they will be drawn to content about exciting new markets and opportunities.
So, a good audience understanding helps establish you communicators as trusted advisors in your company, and also helps you tailor your message to be more relevant to your audience. The next step is the segmentation or splitting up of your audience.
This means that the whole audience is broken up into sub-audiences, and they receive specific information relevant to them to avoid information overload. Here are some typical segmentations. Divide audiences by department, location, management level, employee type, employee's life cycle, and projects.
This segmentation should be done automatically and then becomes the basis for the targeting of content. Now keep in mind, personas are not always useful for segmentation because there's no exact match for an actual group of employees to personas. But it could be a good fit. For instance, with plant workers in a factory or for a leadership group.
Another option is to let employees decide based on their interests. This means they actively subscribe to content they care about. This avoids information overload and provides direct feedback on which topics are most relevant and engaging.
Segmentation based on interest is a good option for cross-organizational topics. Keep in mind that employees never actively subscribe to content, but prefer and expect to automatically only get what's relevant to them. Now let's take a look at 3 segmentation examples from real-life staff-based customers.
Here we have an automotive company with 45,000 employees, which uses 2 groups to distinguish between internal and external employees. 50 groups for all the divisions and locations like their plants, 25 groups based on their interests, and 5 groups for internal events. Next, a retail company with 5,500 employees. It has 5 groups for leadership, 70 groups for different divisions or locations, 4 groups for trainees, and 5 location-based groups. And finally, a bank with 800 employees, which has 1 group for leadership, 8 groups based on regions, 1 group for new employees, and 2 for people interested in different campaigns.
With a good understanding and segmentation of your audience, you can avoid information overload, deliver more relevant content, and your audience will better understand your message.
Larger companies can do this analysis on various levels of the organization. At headquarters, important market units, or specifically for cross-organizational change and transformation projects.
Let's sum things up here.
We talked about the difference between audience understanding and segmentation. Good audience understanding and research not only establishes you as a trusted advisor in your organization, it also helps to create better tailored content for your audiences. And finally, we talked about the various ways to cement your audience, either based on automatic groups or based on their interest.
Now that you have a better idea about your audience, you can define your message. Check out our video about creating powerful messages. We hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.